Finding real paranormal videos is an extremely difficult task due to the enormous sea of fake videos that exist out there. Still, we have always known that when the paranormal involves live broadcasts or animals, the probability that the paranormal is real is much higher. However, there is another space for this, and I'm talking about police cameras. Those cameras cannot be tampered with since it is illegal, which is why in this collection, I bring you 10 of the most surprising paranormal encounters that the police themselves have captured. My name is Leonore Clay, and this is The Darkest Secret. Today we present 9 Ghosts Captured by Police, Part 2. Number 9. We begin with a mysterious situation that in 2017 surprised an entire police station. It was during the early hours of the night shift that in said space and given all the officers present, an unusual event occurred.
Ya. Macam ni. Cik dengan siapa je? Cik dengan siapa? Selamat.
That was not the product of some gust of air. No, that opening occurred with force, and the strangest thing was that it opened in the opposite direction. In general, access doors are characterized by being extremely heavy. However, as seen in the image, it opens with such a brutal force that it couldn't be done by a person. The officers are completely surprised, without being able to react to what lacks any logic. How does such a heavy door manage to open in that way? Tell me what you think. Number 8. As we know, it is common for police operators to sometimes respond to emergency calls, and the caller could respond with a joke or simply remain silent. However, what happened on August 11, 2018, in the town of Pueblo, Colorado, is still disturbing for those who remember the case. It was in the early morning of that date that the police department's communication center received a call from a funeral home near the cemetery of the town. The officer in charge of answering thought she was going to start a conversation with the security guard. However, what she heard on the other line continues to surprise her to this day.
Hello, 911, this is Erica. How can I help you? Hello? Hello? Hello?
There was simply no response. Later, reports claimed that there was no one at the funeral home that day. Even after that mysterious call, a couple of officers went there to inspect. However, when they arrived at the site, it was closed and completely dark, with no one in sight. They checked the security cameras and nothing. No one ever picked up the phone. If this is true, then who was the caller? a question that until now, no one has been able to answer. Number 7. I have left this position for a shocking recording that we had previously shown. However, when it comes to police videos, this one simply could not be left out, not if we're trying to compile the best ones out there. This footage was captured by the officer's body cam, who together with his partner arrived to inspect a house after the owner found the door open when she returned from shopping. The police thought they would encounter an intruder. However, inside, they would experience a much more disturbing situation. Observe.
Anyone inside? Police! Anyone inside, make yourself known.
Downstairs clears.
It was on several occasions that one of them was surprised by the inexplicable events that were recorded on camera. Strange knocks, the movement of doors, and mysterious footsteps. These things completely surprised this officer, who at no time let go of his service weapon. However, despite all these situations, they never met anyone inside, leaving this footage as reliable testimony that they witnessed paranormal manifestations. A video that, although not new, still continues to impact. Number 6. Although what I will present to you below is not exactly a paranormal event, the occurrence itself is one of the most terrifying that someone could experience, something that surely you would never want to happen to you. During Christmas 2020, Anthony Warner, a 63-year-old man, drove his motor home onto a busy avenue in Nashville, Tennessee. It was there that, using powerful speakers, his vehicle began to play the disturbing robotic voice of a woman, warning everyone to evacuate the area as soon as possible.
All buildings in this area must be evacuated now. All buildings in this area must be evacuated now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now. If you can hear this message.
After a while, the voice began to insistently warn that a large explosion would occur. Police personnel who had been stationed at the scene took the opportunity to preventively evacuate the area before beginning to thoroughly investigate the reason for so much warning. However, they never imagined that the message would be real. It was the same RV that moments later detonated near an AT&T building, damaging more than 50 structures and some collapsing. Thanks to the providential evacuation of the police, only 3 people were injured, and Warner, who was inside the vehicle, was the only fatal victim. Investigations revealed that Warner was a loner, obsessed with reptilian conspiracy theories, and had been manufacturing explosives. Although his girlfriend had alerted the police 16 months earlier, no action was taken. Authorities concluded that the combination of a terminal illness and his mental deterioration influenced his actions, although his true motive remains uncertain. At least he warned everyone to evacuate. A troubling case that, thanks to police action, did not result in a major tragedy. Number 5. In the late summer of 1965, 18-year-old Norman Mascarello returned home to the small, quiet town of Exeter, New Hampshire. He had spent the afternoon with his girlfriend in a city nearby. But now, under the darkness of the sky, he walked alone along the deserted road, surrounded only by empty fields and an eerie silence. Suddenly, something broke that calm. An intense reddish light emerged in the sky, rapidly growing in size as it approached. Mascarello, paralyzed by surprise and fear, watched as a huge oval object floated over the nearby fields, moving erratically. Without making a sound, the object seemed to pulse with energy, illuminating everything around it. But the most terrifying thing occurred when, in an instant, the ship passed quickly over the young man, who rapidly threw himself on the ground to protect himself. After this, and in a state of panic, the young man ran down the road until he found a vehicle that would take him to the nearest police station. With his heart racing, Norman arrived at the barracks where he told his story to Officer Eugene Bertrand. To his surprise, Bertrand did not take him for crazy. In fact, that same night he had received other reports of mysterious lights in the sky in the area. Determined to investigate, Bertrand asked Mascarello to take him to the area of the sighting. Upon arrival, the officer soon saw what Norman had described: a huge, oval ship suspended in the air, radiating a bright red glow that seemed to bathe the road. Instinctively remembering his police training, Bertrand pulled out his revolver and aimed it at the object. However, he understood that shooting would not be prudent due to the unpredictable reaction that thing could take. Bertrand called another officer, David Hunt, who arrived shortly after and also witnessed the disconcerting spectacle. The man observed how the object seemed to move intelligently, agilely, and in complete silence. For some reason, perhaps a malfunction, this thing was still in the sky without disappearing. I remind you that this is not a made-up story. This is actually in the police records of the town where it occurred. Several minutes passed before the ship rose rapidly and disappeared into the darkness, leaving behind an odd sensation of an illusion. News of the sighting spread quickly, attracting the attention of the United States Air Force. which was tasked with investigating the incident as part of its Project Blue Book program. Although official explanations spoke of military maneuvers carried out at a nearby airbase, the characteristics described by witnesses, the size of the object, its maneuverability, and the hypnotic glow did not align with any known technology of the time. Over time, the Exeter case became one of the most documented and debated UFO sightings in history. However, for Norman Mascarello and officers Bertrand and Hunt, this was not a mystery to solve, but an experience that forever changed the way they saw the world. What had flown over the fields of Exeter that night? Was it a military experiment, an unknown natural phenomena, or something much more extraordinary? Number 4. In this position, we find a strange episode that occurred in a parking lot located in the basement of a shopping center. An event was recorded by Luis Hernandez, an officer who, after midnight, arrived at the scene after responding to a robbery call. Someone had tried to rob the mall staff when it was closing. However, and after verifying that everything was in order, he returned to the parking lot where he had left his motorcycle. It was there that disturbing noises put him on alert. He began to blink the lights to see if he could get a response, but he didn't find anyone, or at least that's what he thought. The shopping center had already closed. The robbery victim was waiting for him outside with his colleague. Only he was left inside. Then who was this person? After seeing the recording, the police officer searched the entire parking lot on his motorcycle. However, the woman seems to have vanished without leaving any trace of her presence. Could his camera have captured a ghost? Let me know what you think. Number 3. The following footage may be familiar to you since we had already presented it on this channel, but as I indicated before, the objective is to compile the best videos of ghosts captured by police, so this one must be shown. This video was captured at dawn by a security camera where the light of a helicopter can be seen illuminating the street. However, what appeared later was extremely disconcerting. Observe. It was thought that the police helicopter was searching for a stolen vehicle or a thief who had assaulted someone, who after seeing the images, many think that they were following the footsteps of that being seen on the screen, an entity of a strange figure and walk which from one moment to the next vanishes when stepped aside. Could it be a ghost? Or maybe a secret experiment that escaped and they wanted to recapture? Questions that, like the helicopter, continue to circle in the air. Number 2. The following situation took place in the food court of a shopping center. In the middle of the night, one of the officers, while checking the security cameras, heard what appeared to be the crying of a girl. Intrigued and concerned, he asked a patrol officer to go investigate the area. When the officer arrived, he found a girl standing in the dining room alone. However, something strange was happening, because at all times, his companions saw him speaking and gesturing alone there. The officer claims to have spoken with the little girl for a few minutes before leaving the area to report the situation. However, he was interrupted by his companions, who through the communicator assured him that there was no one else there with him. Confused and visibly nervous, he decided to leave the location quickly, leaving behind one of the most intriguing footage resulting from that strange event. Could he have had contact with a ghost? Comment below. Number 1. This collection is crowned with one of the most controversial films that has emerged in recent times. Videos captured by an officer's body cam, which began as another routine check. The police stopped the vehicle of the young woman you see on the screen, asking for her documents, to which the young woman agrees without any problem. However, when the officer went to do a background check, the young woman simply disappeared.
Your driver's license, registration, please?
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
Here's my license, but this is my mom's car, so...
Where are you headed to where you're speeding and missing stop signs?
I was just headed to a friend's house. It's like literally right there. It's a birthday party, so...
Got it.
Not mine, but...
Any drugs or alcohol in the vehicle?
No, of course not.
Alright. Sit tight, sir. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Your registration is... What the...
Sarah?
What the heck?
Sarah?
At first, many said that it was a simulation, which was the reaction of two actresses playing their respective roles. However, this idea faded as quickly as the young woman, since the situation was not only captured by the officer's body cam, but was also recorded by the camera carried by the patrol car. Different perspectives captured the same fact, giving this situation a higher degree of credibility. The young woman was never heard from again, and the officer to this day cannot assimilate what she experienced that day. What do you think happened here? If you have any theories about it, share it in the comments below, since this video has come to an end. My name is Leonore Clay, and this was The Darkest Secret.